For 16 years, I've lived in this body with white skin and brown hair and brown eyes. And when I was younger, I went to the Worthington Presbyterian Church once a week for Sunday school. Because I've never really found it hard to find people who look like me or believe the same things as me, I've never really thought to empathize with people who might find it hard until I got to high school, where there was a huge number of kids, a huge makeup of beliefs and ideas and faiths. My assistant principal knew that I was interested in this, so he sent me this map. On here you can see the native countries of students in our school, so places they either lived in or were born in before coming to our school. We have 20 from Russia, 2 from Taiwan, 9 from Venezuela. And this is just so cool to me that so many countries are represented in our school. And I think about what a map of the students in our state or in our country would look like, and that's just so much representation. In the beginning of the winter, my English teacher gave us a prompt for an essay, and the question for the essay was something like, what does the United States value more, multiculturalism or conformity? And this was difficult because I really wanted to say the answer to this was, yes, the United States values multiculturalism over conformity. It's what we were built upon, nation of immigrants. But that's not what I wrote because it didn't feel truthful. And then around Christmas time, my mom showed me a letter to the editor in the newspaper about the war on Christmas and political correctness. And the woman who wrote it was angry about school celebrations, school concerts being changed from Christmas-oriented to a generic winter theme, and shopkeepers saying Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. And I understood that this woman was upset that her faith was being taken out of schools, but I felt like there was another perspective that she wasn't considering. There are a lot of ways to think about the makeup of the United States. A couple weeks ago, I read an essay that used the metaphor that the United States was a spice rack, where everyone was a different spice, but we all sat on this rack together. But the most common, the most accepted metaphor usually used is a melting pot. The only thing people seem to disagree on the most is how much we're supposed to melt. So I joked to my mom that I was going to reply to the letter to the editor in the newspaper, and I ended up doing it. The purpose of this was to encourage the readers of the newspaper to consider another perspective, be more empathetic when looking at the war on Christmas. Recently, I've realized that the term political correctness is just a substitute for empathy that we use in moments when we lack it or when we don't have any. For example, instead of saying, we changed the Christmas concert to a winter concert to be more empathetic to students and teachers who don't celebrate Christmas, we say we did it to be politically correct, so to say that we do this for appearances or we do this to avoid conflict when it was actually just done out of empathy. I feel proud that my school is so accepting and so proud of the countries that make it up. In our school, we have a hallway that has flags from the different countries that students come from in our school hanging from the walls, and that's really cool. But there's more that my school and everyone else can do to make others feel more accepted for their beliefs and their ideas and their differences. Sometimes we make judgments or assumptions about people that we don't know based upon their faiths or their ideas or their beliefs. But the key to making these people feel more accepted in the country is to interfere with ourselves. And the mechanism through which we interfere with our thoughts is empathy. So the next time you come across someone who has a belief or an idea or faith or is just different from you, I encourage you to interfere with your own mind and look at them with a more empathetic view. Thank you.